Hey, I'm Alhalia, and today I'll be talking about Omnath, Locus of Mana for Commander/EDH. I really like this commander for his ability to let you keep insane amounts of mana in your mana pool, and to let you play big spells really early on. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the lands. I have 41 total lands in this deck, though not all of them add mana. In a deck like this, I think it's important to have a high number of lands to ensure that you can play your commander and other good spells in the early game. For lands that produce green, I run 31 forests, a Llanowar Reborn, a Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, an Opal Palace, and a Tranquil Thicket. The forests, the thicket, and the Llanowar Reborn all stay on the battlefield as normal green lands, but you can cycle the thicket and get an extra counter on something with the Llanowar Reborn. Opal Palace can help you get an extra counter onto Omnath as he enters, which can be helpful, especially in the later game. And Nykthos can provide a very large amount of green mana, which can also be used to grow Omnath and play large spells. I also run some lands with interaction like Strip Mine and Ghost Quarter, and there's a Temple of the False God to get some extra mana if need be, and a Rogue's Passage to get through with big creatures like Omnath. Then there's the final 2-land package, Thespian Stage and Dark Depths. With this combo you can pay 2 mana and sack both lands to make a 20/20 Merit Lodge token, and I have several ways to tutor this package up, including Crop Rotation, Sylvan Scrying, and the best of the 3, Tempt with Discovery, which can often fetch both if someone accepts the tempting offer. Both lands are good on their own, because the stage can copy something, and the Dark Depths can be a great mana sink for Omnath. Now to the notable creatures in the deck. We have some creatures that will have a good effect upon them entering the battlefield, like Acidic Slime, Eternal Witness, and World Breaker. There are also creatures with good ongoing and repeatable effects like Archetype of Endurance, Vorinclex, and Fauna Shaman. But the best creature in the deck, by far, is Selvala, Heart of the Wilds. With a big Omnath, you won't even have to worry about the downside of your opponent's drawing cards, but what she does for you is even better. If you pay a green mana and tap her, she will essentially double your green mana, since Omnath gets a boost from each mana in your pool, and she adds mana equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. When given the option, always play Selvala before Omnath, so she can add mana the turn you play Omnath. Next, I'll talk about the Planeswalkers, of which there are only 4. Garruk, Primal Hunter, is good card draw. Nissa, Who Shakes the World, is amazing ramp, but the big 2 are Yugen the Spirit Dragon and Karn Liberated. Karn is good spot removal and a card disadvantage for your opponents, and Yugen can be a board wipe, which is rare in mono green, as well as some not so good spot removal and a way to hit your opponents. There's a very rare chance that you can ult either of them, but when you could ult Yugen, I think it would be great, but Karn on the other hand might not be as good. Now for the removal. Some of it is stapled onto creatures, which I already talked about, so let's talk about some non-creature removal. Bramble Crush and Primal Command both deal with any non-creature permanent, while Krosan Grip will only hit an artifact or enchantment, but Beast Within is the most versatile, replacing any of my opponent's permanents with a 3/3 Beast. A 3/3 Beast is often not a very bad trade-off in Commander, since all they'll do is 3 damage. For ramp, early game cards include the obvious Sol Ring, as well as Cultivate, Nissa's Pilgrimage, Burgeoning, and Gaia's Touch, while the later game's options consist of Boundless Realms, Skyshroud Claim, and Gilded Lotus. I also have a subcategory of ramp, which consists of mana doublers. I've already spoken about Vorinclex, Nissa, and Selvala, but I have several more. Bear Umbra, Sword of Feast and Famine, Wilderness Reclamation, and Seedborn Muse all untap your lands to be used again. Zendikar Resurgent, Caged Sun, and Regal Behemoth will all double the mana as you add it, while Doubling Cube will double the mana as it sits in your mana pool. I've generated upwards of 200 mana per game with these cards, enough to wipe out my opponents with a huge Omnath, or whatever I can cast with all that mana. Now we move on to the win cons, how we close out a game. I've already talked about Omnath himself and Dark Depths, But there are some other great ways to win a game. Artisan of Kozilek's Annihilator and ability to recur something can get out of hand. Avenger of Zendikar and the plant army it creates is a great way to get through for the win. Genesis Hydra can be giant and fetch out whatever you want with enough mana. Polukranos can wipe out an opponent's board and become huge enough to kill them with one activation of his monstrosity. And of course, Vorinclex can lock out opponents so that you can swing for the win. This has been my Omnath Locus of Mana deck tech. I've been tuning the deck for over a year and am happy with the result. I know that there are some upgrades that I can and will make, but it still wins and extremely fun to play. I'll link the list in the description, but for now, goodbye.